Hey, I'm a neurosurgeon Kazu.
Welcome to this explainer. So today we're tackling a fear that's, well, pretty much everywhere you look right now, the idea that artificial intelligence is coming for our jobs. It's so easy to picture this dystopian future where humans are just completely obsolete. But today, we're going to look at this through a totally different lens. We're examining the absolute bleeding edge of the medical frontline to uncover a really surprising paradox about AI. And honestly, more importantly, we're going to talk about what the fear of this technology is physically doing to your brain right this very second.
Okay, let's dive into this. Will AI really steal your job? I mean, it is the question of the decade, right? We are constantly bombarded with messaging that AI is faster, it doesn't make human errors, and it literally never needs to sleep. It's enough to make anyone anxious. But when we actually step out of that whole Silicon Valley hype cycle and walk into a real high-stakes hospital ward, the reality is drastically different. In fact, if you walk into the offices of some of the most advanced medical professionals in the entire world, you won't find some sterile AI-run utopia. You'll find desks that are completely buried in paper.
To figure out why, we're drawing on some amazing insights from Dr. Kazu. He's a veteran neurosurgeon, a former university medical school associate professor, and someone who is currently right there on the front lines performing highly complex surgeries for strokes and brain tumors. Think about it. If anyone could benefit from a super intelligent AI taking over the workload, it would be a neurosurgeon. Yet, he famously points out that his hospital desk is still just covered in mountains of paper documents. He uses his brilliantly messy desk as this profound illustration of the limits of AI when you're in a high-stakes, real-world environment.
Section 1. Medical Frontline Realities. So why on earth is low-tech paper still the absolute lifeline in these modern multi-million-dollar hospitals? Well, there are three core reasons, and they kind of tell us everything we need to know about AI's current limitations. First off, complex patient histories completely defy simple data entry. A patient's life, their habits, those really subtle symptoms, these are incredibly nuanced backgrounds that just don't fit neatly into binary code or some drop-down menu on a screen. Second, paper is the absolute fallback during a system failure. When you're in the middle of delicate brain surgery, you absolutely cannot rely on a server that might just crash or decide to reboot. Paper is the ultimate safety net. It's a physical failsafe when lives are literally on the line. And third, medical consultations require human dialogue, not just typing into a terminal. True medicine is a conversation, you know? It's a human-to-human interaction where trust is actually built.
Section 2. AI versus human differences. And this brings us to a really fascinating crossroads. Where does AI actually shine? And where is the human brain just completely irreplaceable? Well, let's compare them. On one side, we have AI's undeniable strengths. AI is an absolute powerhouse when it comes to processing massive amounts of data. It can instantly analyze tens of thousands of CT and MRI scans to detect a microscopic lesion that a human eye might miss on a Tuesday afternoon when they're just exhausted. But on the human side, the human surgeon is built to handle the unexpected. During a brain operation where there's a zero margin of error, unpredictable things happen all the time. A blood vessel might sit slightly differently than the scan showed. In those split-second moments, AI freezes because it simply lacks the programming for the unknown.
And you know, that right there is the human advantage. While AI calculates all this past data without a single drop of emotion or consciousness, we humans do something pretty magical. We synthesize. A seasoned doctor uses unmatched empathy to calm a terrified patient. They use on-the-spot flexibility to pivot a surgical strategy in literally seconds. They integrate all five senses, the texture of the tissue, the sound of a monitor, the visual cues of the patient's breathing, and they combine all of that with decades of real-world experience. Humans make optimal, in-the-moment judgments that machines fundamentally cannot replicate.
Section 3. Anxiety destroys the brain.
Okay, here's where we need to make a massive pivot. Dr. Kazu's insights reveal a really shocking truth. The real danger isn't actually that AI is going to take your job. No, the real danger is what the fear of AI is physically doing to your brain right this very second. So the crucial point is this tiny almond-shaped cluster of nuclei in your brain called the amygdala. It's your brain's fear center. When you're constantly bombarded with news about AI making humans obsolete, or you just feel that heavy stress of impending future changes, your amygdala gets severely overstimulated. The thing is, it doesn't know the difference between a physical predator chasing you and a scary news article. It just rings the alarm bell, shifting your entire body into sympathetic nervous system overdrive.
When that alarm bell just stays on, it triggers a seriously dangerous biological chain reaction. We call it the stress cascade. It starts with that chronic anxiety about the future. This leads directly to autonomic nerve disruption. Basically, your body completely forgets how to rest and digest.
This constant, exhausting state of fight or flight drives up your blood pressure. And over time, this high blood pressure literally acts like sandpaper, damaging the delicate inner walls of your blood vessels, particularly the tiny, incredibly vital vessels inside your brain.
And the consequences of this vessel damage, they're incredibly grim. We're talking about a significantly elevated risk for cerebral infarctions, which are blockages or strokes, and cerebral hemorrhages, where those weakened vessels actually rupture. The aftermath could mean permanent numbness, severe paralysis, and devastating speech impairments. As a neurosurgeon, Dr. Kazu stresses a fundamental medical truth here. Preventing this damage by managing your stress is infinitely more vital and honestly far more successful than trying to surgically treat these issues after they've already occurred.
Section 4. 3 brain protection habits.
But hey, the good news is you are absolutely not powerless here. You can actively protect your own biological hardware, and Dr. Kazu gives us 3 practical prescriptions to do exactly that. Prescription number 1 is the digital detox. We have to consciously step away from the screens. Continuously doom scrolling through AI news, social media panic, and endless digital notifications causes severe brain fatigue. By intentionally carving out time away from your devices, you actually allow your autonomic nerves to rebalance. This simple act of disconnecting is one of the single most effective ways to prevent those dangerous blood pressure spikes we just talked about.
Moving on to prescription number 2, prioritizing high-quality sleep. And look, this isn't just about waking up feeling rested. It is a fundamental biological necessity. Getting around 7 hours of uninterrupted sleep is considered by brain specialists to be the absolute best prescription for maintaining cerebrovascular health. But what's actually happening during those 7 hours that makes it so critical?
And this brilliantly illustrates the hidden mechanics of sleep, specifically something called the glymphatic system. Think of this as your brain's literal nighttime sanitation crew. While you're in deep sleep, this system activates, washing cerebral spinal fluid right through your brain tissue. It physically flushes out unnecessary fragmented information and highly toxic stress substances that have built up during the day. If you cut your sleep short, you're just leaving those stress toxins in your brain to do damage.
All right, prescription number 3 is daily aerobic exercise. Now don't panic, we aren't talking about running a marathon here. Honestly, just a simple, brisk 20-minute walk every day is enough to significantly increase the blood flow to your brain. It delivers fresh oxygen and nutrients, sure, but it also does something even more incredible on a chemical level.
See, when you engage in aerobic exercise, your body secretes this incredible substance called BDNF, or brain-derived neurotrophic factor. BDNF is essentially Miracle-Gro for your brain. It acts as a powerful stress suppressor, and it specifically activates and trains the frontal lobe. The frontal lobe is the center of your executive thinking, your complex judgment, and your emotional regulation. So by naturally boosting your BDNF, you are literally building a structurally stronger brain that just refuses to yield to anxiety.
Section 5. Living in the AI era.
So, how do we actually pull all of this together? Well, the goal isn't to compete in some fear-based race against machines. It's to update our own biological hardware so we can thrive alongside them. The absolute biggest trap of the AI era is the temptation to just let the machine do all the work. The rule is simple. Don't outsource your thinking. If you use AI to make every decision, write every email, and solve every single problem, your neural circuits, your synapses, will literally decay from disuse. Just like a muscle, if you don't use it, you lose it. Thinking for yourself, grappling with complex problems, and making your own decisions, that is the ultimate anti-aging tool for your brain.
Because when we keep our brains sharp and we stop operating out of pure fear, we can actually start to build an ideal future. Just look at what that future means for medicine, for example. In the ideal scenario, AI becomes this amazing, powerful assistant. It handles the exhausting administrative paperwork and the tedious image analysis. And because the machines are doing the machine work, human doctors are finally freed up. They get to spend more time actually looking patients in the eye, listening to their fears, and building real trust. We get to transition from a stressed, overworked system right into a safe, warm, and deeply human-centric model of care.
Let's move to and see how this builds to our ultimate takeaway, which is beautifully captured right here. Don't fear AI, update your own brain instead. Guys, this is literally a call to arms. AI is just a tool, like a scalpel or a stethoscope. It's completely neutral, but your brain is your greatest asset. By caring for it with proper sleep, daily exercise, and intentional disconnection from all that digital noise, you maintain the mental flexibility and the emotional resilience to actually enjoy the massive changes that are coming our way.
Which leaves us with one final, deeply personal question to think about.
We've seen the very real physical damage that unchecked stress can do to your blood vessels. And we've seen the simple, profound prescriptions to stop it. So, will you let the anxiety of an AI-driven future slowly break your brain? Or will you take back control, protect your incredible human mind, and start your digital detox today? The choice is entirely yours. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. And I highly encourage you to put these tools into practice immediately. Stay curious, stay healthy, and definitely keep thinking for yourself.